For the Josh Comnick Growl Incorporated and Schneider Chiropractic pregame show. And I'm your host, Josh Comnick. We're at home in Lincoln as the Railers get ready to take on the Blue Devils from Quincy High School. In just a moment, I'll be joined by Scott Kirby as we break down tonight's matchup. We thank you for joining us on the home of every Lincoln Railer contest this season, WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. Again, Railer Nation, thanks for joining us here from Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium at Coach Neil Alexander Court, getting set for the Railers and the Blue Devils from Quincy High School. The Railers coming to the contest with a record of 14-2 on the season, 4-0 in Apollo Conference action, while the Blue Devils from Quincy come in with a 15-3 record and 7-0 in the Western Big Six. Right now, the Railer sophomores up 39-32 with a minute and 13 seconds left here in the game. We're going to take a break. We'll be back here in just a couple minutes. You're in the Growl Incorporated and Schneider Chiropractic pregame show, and you're listening to Lincoln Railer Basketball. Welcome back, Railer fans, here from Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium at Coach Neil Alexander Court, getting set for the Railers and the Blue Devils from Quincy High School. You're in the Growl Incorporated and Schneider Chiropractic pregame show. Josh Comnick along with Scott Kirby and Lloyd Kirby here on the camera. Scott, nice to have you back.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it has. I didn't even recognize you when you were in the stool here for the game, but nice to be back at Roy S. Been a little on the away train, I guess, for the Railers, but yeah, you're right. Nice to be back here on a Saturday night. No Friday game, which is a little bit unordinary, but the Railers taking on the Blue Devils from Quincy, who they've seen already this year down in Collinsville.
Yeah, and one of our two losses came to Quincy, and Railers looking to get a little bit of revenge tonight. Always a solid Quincy team. You've played against several teams back in your day. We talked to Coach Al today on the Cheap Seats show, and back in what was it, mid-90s? Quincy and Lincoln were quite the rivalry.
I would say upper 90s as far as my.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're aging me just a little bit.
Years.
But yeah, you're right. Two of the winningest programs in high school basketball, at least for the state of Illinois, are going to take place. And if Jay was here, he'd have all the stats from back when his day was going forth.
Yeah.
As the Douglas brothers came through. In my day, it was 98, 97. Even my sophomore year, we traveled to Quincy and played them. There were always a Douglas, but there's nothing here tonight as far as a Douglas on the team, although the coach is a Douglas. So many Railer fans remember that name with Quincy basketball.
Yeah, it's it's just kind of a staple in Quincy. If your last name was Douglas, you were playing basketball for the Blue Devils, and but like you said, no active Douglases on the roster. tonight, but the Railers need to take care of business. You know, they've had a whole week to prepare. All focus on Quincy for the last week. I'm sure a lot of game tape was watched, some adjustments made since they've seen them in Collinsville on both teams. Boy, this game's coming down to the wire here, Josh.
Yeah, right.
40-36, the Railers up with 22 seconds to go. And, boy, this past 2 or 3 minutes here, boy, it's been pretty physical, rough, and up and down the court.
Yeah, you're right. 22.8 seconds left here in the fourth. The Railer sophomores up 42-36. Varsity action. These two teams met back on the 28th of December in Collinsville, where Quincy got us by a score of 33-30. That sent the Railers after they won the next one and then went on to finish 5th place in Collinsville. I believe the Blue Devils finished 3rd over in Collinsville. So a team that we've seen before. We'll talk a little bit about the Blue Devils and what they are going to bring to the table here from Coach Neil Alexander Court. Again, we're going to take another break. We'll be back here from Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium. You're in the Ground Incorporated and Schneider Chiropractic pregame show, and you're listening to Lincoln Railer basketball. Welcome back.
We're back.
Well, we were caught up in the sophomore game here as the Railers are up 41-38. The Blue Devils were on a run here to get a 3 off, and then they were fouled on the floor. But I believe one of the players from Quincy had kind of jumped out onto the floor, complaining a little bit about the call, and the referees gave a technical to Quincy. So the Railers up 41-38 here with 2.5 seconds left. Darren Stevens will go to the free throw line with the technical free throws. Should be 2 free throws, I believe, and then the ball.
Well, I don't know.
Do they get the ball back since there was a foul on the Railers?
Yeah, and they weren't in the bonus, so I think it was just a foul before the shot on Quincy.
Right.
And then a dead ball foul. So the Railers, I'm guessing, will get 2 free throws and the ball.
I'm not sure. We need a little, as the referees are talking it out with the sophomore coach from Quincy High School. Looks like Darren Stevens will go to the free throw line to try to ice this thing with 2.5 seconds left. The Railers up 41-38. 2 free throws, and we're not yet quite sure who's going to get the ball after that, but Stevens up, free throw, and good.
hit every side of the rim there, Josh, and fell down to give the Railers a 4-point lead and seal this ball game.
Again, you're in the Ground Incorporated and Schneider Chiropractic pregame show. Josh Komnick along with Scott Kirby and Lloyd Kirby here from Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium. Getting set for varsity action here in just a couple of minutes as the Railers inbounded here, and the sophomores will take it 43-38. And it's been obviously we get a chance to watch quite a bit of the sophomore games as they play right before us, but a much needed competitive game, I would say, for Coach Greg Alexander. Obviously a good season so far. I believe Coach Greg is now 9-1 on the season, and they needed a game like this.
Yeah, you're right. And it's been a week for them as well. And we're down in the nitty-gritty now, where these kids they've got some games under their belt, and they've improved since day one. And with that record of 9-1, that's a sign right there that this Railer program, year in, year out, we got good, solid teams.
Lincoln comes in the contest tonight with a 14-2 record on the season. They are 4-0 in Apollo Conference play, while Quincy comes in to the contest 15-3 on the season and 7-0 in the Western Big Six. Again, the Railers and Quincy matched up over in Collinsville over the Christmas tournament back on the 28th of December. The Railers fell 33-30, and I know you weren't in attendance that weekend, that 3 days, Scott, but Jay was there, and I'm sure you listened and followed the Railers back home. But it was a tightly contested game, obviously, but they have got some really, really good young talent for Quincy. Their leading scorer in that game with 17 points was Bradley Longcore, the 6'1 freshman. Also, Jeremiah Talton coming into that contest, not sure exactly what he's averaging right now, but Jeremiah Talton, the 6'6 senior, was averaging about 22 points per game coming into that game against Collinsville, at Collinsville against the Railers. The Railers did a good job of holding him down, but it was for the freshman Longcore.
Yeah, and I'm sure the game plan is to keep an eye on him. I know we mentioned it before. We talked to Coach Al about some of the adjustments and that they were going to have to make, and obviously that was one of them. But Quincy, they're going to make their adjustments too. So it's kind of, he said, a chess match. So maybe come out the first quarter, they're going to feel each other out and see how each other's going to respond, and it should be a good game.
Well, and also just aside from the game part of it, it's just nice to get Quincy back in. Non-conference play. I remember when I was playing, we traveled to Quincy my sophomore year. I don't know if we had them on the schedule my junior year, although we saw them my senior year in the sectional championship, which don't like to bring it up a whole lot, but didn't end well.
And that was
for us.
Was that in Springfield?
Yeah, it was at the Capitol Convention Center, and one overtime, maybe two. Yeah. I've yet to watch the film on that, and don't plan to forever.
Really?
It just didn't end up well for us.
Still setting bad with you.
Just got to even I look across and I see that blue over there. Just some bad memories of that going on. So
it's fuming.
Yeah, I'm getting a little more excited for the game tonight.
Yeah. Hopefully the Railers can come away with a victory for you. This was for Josh. Let's go.
Yeah, you're right. That would be nice. We didn't get him in Collinsville, but the Railers look to get him here. Again, the Railer sophomores 43-38 winners here. We're going to take another break. We'll be back here in the Ground Incorporated and Schneider Chiropractic pregame show, and you're listening to Lincoln Railer basketball. Ground Incorporated and Schneider Chiropractic pregame show. Josh Dominic along with Scott Kirby and Lloyd Kirby here from Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium at Coach Neil Alexander Court. Getting set for the Blue Devils from Quincy High School and your Lincoln Railers. The Railers coming to the contest with a record of 14-2 on the season, while the Blue Devils from Quincy come in with a record of 15-3. Again, the Railers sophomores victorious here just a few minutes ago by a score of 43-38. And as the Railers, Scott, look to avenge that 33-30 loss in Collinsville to these Quincy Blue Devils. It'd be interesting to see, it's not very often, although I was looking through the schedule just a second ago, the Railers are again off next Friday, although they have a game Tuesday at Bloomington. But then they travel to Rock Island on Saturday, so another Friday off next week. It'd be interesting to see how the Railers come in. We talked about a week-long off. Nice to get some guys healthy, but yet again also, the kind of the rust of practice for five days straight. It's different than games.
Yeah, it is, and it seems like the past 2 or 3 years the schedule's been pretty choppy.
Yeah.
We're not used to the Friday Saturday games. When we're in the Central State 8, where after Christmas break you could expect every Friday Saturday the Railers be in action. Where now it's a little chopped up, where you might play a Saturday, you might play a Tuesday, or heck, I think there for a while we almost had a game every night. Last year.
Yeah.
So COVID had a lot to do with that. But the kids would rather play than practice, and the coaches would, I'm sure they're the same. But you like to have those practices to kind of work on the things that you need to.
Yeah, you're right, and just I think as maybe as important as ever for these Railers is just to get healthy with the sickness that has gone through the program and through the school and for that matter all around Logan County. They're nice to get healthy back and then get a game here against a opponent that the Railers only lost twice. They obviously to Quincy and then to Lanphier just a week ago, but nice to see how the revenge factor kind of plays into a little bit. I think back then a game that you look to on the schedule as far as a revenge, not necessarily a revenge, but a rival. I don't know if these guys think it's a rival.
These guys weren't even born yet.
Right, well, they don't play them that often, like we kind of did once a year, or we met in the sectional and that, but it'll be fun to see how the Railers respond. Aiden Gowan back for the Railers, who's missed several games with the virus, and the Railers coming off the loss to Quincy. It'd be nice to see how they respond to a team that they've already played before and coming off a loss.
Yeah, and a loss to Lanphier. That was their last game, I believe. So coming off a loss here, and see how they respond, how they react, and see what kind of energy they have coming in tonight. Back some home cooking here at Roy S. Anderson.
Well, a lot of the energy has been brought by the junior Camden Nelson, who's been on fire for 3 points, averaging just over three three-pointers per game on the season. And obviously Quincy knows him from Collinsville, the Collinsville tournament, who Camden Nelson, I believe, was all-tournament in Collinsville. They will have an idea where to cover him at.
Yeah, they'll have an eye on him at all times. So, with that being said, hopefully that can open up the lane a little bit where, we can get Biven to the basket or Polis and, or Saucy, where they can get some easy buckets at the rim.
Well, curious to see how Aiden Gowan's fatigue happens tonight. I know he's had a week of practice to go into the game tonight, but in some conditioning. But as we talk about a lot, practice is way different than the game.
Yeah.
And how many minutes can he give Coach Alexander here tonight?
Yeah, we'll see. I'm sure he's ready to go.
That's going to wrap it up for us here on the pregame show. After a word from our sponsors, Scott and I'll be back here in Lincoln to bring you the play-by-play action as the Railers take on the Blue Devils. As always, a big thank you goes out to all our sponsors. This has been the Josh Dominic, Ground Incorporated, and Schneider Chiropractic pregame show, and you're listening to Lincoln Railer Basketball.
Railer fans, and welcome to Lincoln Railer Basketball. WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNSports.com are pleased to bring you this evening's contest from Lincoln, Illinois, on the campus of Lincoln Community High School, as the Lincoln Railers take on the Blue Devils from Quincy High School. Good evening, everyone. This is Scott Kirby alongside Josh Komnick, and we're ready to bring you all of tonight's action. We'd like to wish a good evening to all of our listeners around the world listening on 96.3 FM, on WLCNonline.com, on the Mixler app, or watching our live stream on YouTube. So turn that volume up and get ready for some Lincoln Railer basketball. The Railers come in tonight's action 14-2, while the Blue Devils have an overall record of 15-3 and 7-0 in the Western Big Six. Railers are on the court warming up as the Quincy Blue Devils are in town. Railers coming off a long week of practice. Last game they played was, I do believe, last Saturday against Lanphier Lions. Lincoln fell a little bit short there, and they look back to bounce back and get some revenge on the Blue Devils. We'll take a commercial break. Come back. We'll have more of the pregame show along with Josh Komnick here on WLCN 96.3 FM. Welcome back to Royce Anderson Gymnasium. Scott Kirby alongside Josh Komnick, Lloyd Kirby on the camera and social media, and Winnie Ransdell back at the studio as we are set for tonight's action between the Railers and the Blue Devils. It's time to check tonight's list of the game, sponsored by Me Realty. List your home with Me Realty when it's time to sell, and if you're looking to buy, check the listings at merealty.com. Josh, what are the keys to tonight's game?
Well, I think there's two of them for sure, and that's finding where Bradley Longcore is, the 6'1" freshman from Quincy. He'll wear the number 12 tonight for the Blue Devils. 17 points for the Blue Devils back on the 28th of December when the Railers fell to the Blue Devils 33-30. Got to know where he's at. Silky smooth freshman, handles the ball really well with poise and smoothness. Can shoot it from three. The Railers will have to know where he is out on the court. And also Jeremiah Talton, 6'6", and a senior, wears the number 24, the leading scorer for the Quincy Blue Devils. The Railers got to know where he's at. And I think also just for the Railers, it's just getting off to a good start. You know, we talked about where it's been a week since we played. You don't want the rust to go on forever. And I think if you can get off to a quick start, Aiden Gowan back in this Railer lineup. Not sure if he'll get the nod to start. We haven't seen the starting lineups yet. But, just get off to a quick start against Quincy, who is a team that obviously beat us earlier. And we'll see how this young Railer team responds to that.
That was the list of the game, sponsored by Me Realty. Once again, list your home with Me Realty when it's time to sell. And if you're looking to buy, check the listings at merealty.com.
Shout out to the Railer Lady Railers.
Absolutely, yeah.
Not only last night taking care of Mattoon, a number 8 ranked team, I believe, in girls basketball, and then they took care of Galesburg here just before 3 o'clock start, I think it was
2:30, yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. the Lady Railers on keeping that win streak going. We hope the varsity boys can do the same thing.
Yeah, and the Lady Railers ranked number 4 in state. We had Coach Rohr on the cheap seats today. They played Mattoon 4 times in this young season.
Yeah, that's unreal.
And it was all within like 2 week span.
Yeah,
it's just
2-2 split, I believe.
Yeah, 2-2.
Yeah, and Mattoon ranked 8th. The Lady Railers now 4th, which you got to think may go up a little bit. But I was talking with some guys today that they go into some sort of a shootout or a tournament of some sort that has Morton and Peoria Central and another really good girls basketball team coming up here real shortly. So tough schedule, tough slate for the Lady Railers.
Yeah, and the ultimate goal is making it to the state tournament. And if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best, and you want to schedule those tough games during the season just so you can play against that type of talent.
Well, the Railers here, varsity action, travel to Bloomington on Tuesday, January the 18th, and then we're back in Western Big Six country. We're not sure if you'll be going because it's probably too far out of your mile.
It's out of my radius.
Yeah, but WLC and 96.3 will be in Rock Island next Saturday, January the 22nd, as the Railers take on the Rocks from Rock Island.
All right, let's take a 60-second timeout. We come back, we'll have more action here on the pregame on WLC and 96.3 FM. Welcome back to Lincoln Railer basketball on WLCN 96.3 FM as the Lincoln Railers are at home against the Blue Devils from Quincy High School. Lights are turning off as we get set for the national anthem. We will take another break as we play the Star Spangled Banner. We come back, we'll have starting lineups in the opening tip here tonight at Roy S. Anderson as the Lincoln Railers take on the Blue Devils from Quincy.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Lincoln Community High School. As we gather here this evening in celebration of American sportsmanship and our precious way of life, and in honor of the many thousands of men and women who have served our nation and continue to serve our nation today, we ask you to please rise, face the colors of the flag. Gentlemen, remove your hats. We also invite all veterans and active members of the military to salute the flag as we present our national anthem.
Devils from Quincy High School. We'll have starting lineups here in just a minute, starting with the visiting team, Quincy Blue Devils in their blue uniforms with white and white numbers, white letters.
Traveling blue. And you think of Quincy or Evansville or those guys with the sleeves on the jersey, but Quincy decided not to
get rid of those.
Not to have. Well, they do. They had them in Collinsville. They wore them one game, and it's kind of nice to see. It's just kind of a nice, different look, but they do not have that jersey on tonight. As a blue, and it must be a thing with both coaches, because neither coach or at least our scoreboard operator has yet to put the starting lineups on the board.
Yeah, I don't know that it's working. I know they've had some issues with it.
Lloyd says it's not working.
Yeah, it's not working.
Maybe he should have fixed it.
That's not good for us.
Maybe Lloyd could have came out here and fixed it while he was in between the girls' game. Again, the Blue Devils 15-3 on the season. The first man out for the Blue Devils, 5'9" and a senior, number 3, Teron Cartmeal. Number 10, 5'11" and a junior, is Reed O'Brien. Next man out, number 12, 6'1" and a freshman, Bradley Longcore. 24 is Jeremiah Towton, a 6'6" senior, and also 31, which we don't have a 31 on here, I believe is Sam Milharn, a 6'4" junior for head coach Andy Douglas, assisted by Mr. Tom Lepper. Again, the Railers come into the contest with a record of 14-2 on the season. Non-conference game here on a Saturday night against the Blue Devils, but the Railers are 4-0 in Apollo conference play. Cameron Kurtz is going to bring you the starting lineup here from head coach Neil Alexander Court. First man out is the 6'3" senior, number 5, is Paulus, Elijah Paulus. Number 2, 6'1" and a sophomore, 5'11" and a sophomore, number 2, Gowan. Aiden Gowan back in the starting lineup for the Railers. 6'2" and a junior, number 24, Biven. Jake Biven. 6'5" and a junior, number 22 is Tyler Saucy. And the man in the middle for the Railers, 6'5" and a junior, number 34, Cook. Peyton Cook. Head coach, Mr. Neil Alexander, assisted by Eric Ewald, Greg Alexander, Brandon Bird Farmer, Josh J. Mac McClellan, Zach Dom, and Gary Rademacher.
Railers at home in their white jerseys. Green numbers trimmed in red. Red letters trimmed in green.
Tip-off sponsor all season long is Chicago Street Rentals, located at 1909 North Kickapoo Street in Lincoln. It'll be 6'6" Jeremiah Talton, the senior, tipping it up against 6'5" and a junior, Peyton Cook. Nice crowd here at Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium for the Blue Devils and the Railers.
Ball is up, tipped for the Quincy Blue Devils as Towton tips it back. Now Cartmill, he'll get it over to Longcore. Now they'll reset, going right, now back to the left. O'Brien to Longcore, now to O'Brien, inside to Talton, kick it in the corner, number 3, Cartmill for a 3. And the Blue Devils with the first points of the evening with a 3-pointer.
That didn't take long, and Cartmill off a baseline jumper for 3. So the Blue Devils on early here.
Railers look to answer. Game just underway. Quincy with a 3-0 lead. Gowan now up top. Now to Polis. Railers being patient, working it around. Saucy down low to Cook. Cook gets in the middle, little jumper up, no good. Rebound comes down to Talton. Now the Blue Devils trying to get across the timeline. Cartmill, now he does, over to Longcore. Now back up top to Cartmill. 3-0 Quincy with the basketball.
Yeah, Cartmill with just 4 points last time.
Steal by Polis. He's got a wide open layup up with the left, missed it. Gowan there for the rebound, but Polis out of bounds as he grabbed the tip from Gowan, and Polis got a little too, I think a little too fast. Went up with his left instead of his right.
Right-handed layup on his dominant hand and shoots it with the left. So a great steal by Polis, who's one of the better defenders for the Railers, but went up with the left and not sure he needed to.
Quincy with the basketball up by 3. O'Brien gives it to Longcore. Now to Cartmill up top. The Railers in their 1-2-2.
Well, and you think of we talked about a quick start. They give up a 3 in the corner to Cartmill, and then Paulus with a steal and miss a layup. So not the start the Railers wanted.
Still 3-0. 2 minutes have gone by here in the first quarter. Cartmill over to Longcore. Now they try to work it down low. Mulherrin couldn't handle it. Now the Blue Devils will reset back up top to Longcore for a long 3. No good. Mulherrin with the rebound. Now Talton for a 3, nothing but net for Talton, and just like that, it's 6-0, and the Railers got to start getting some rebounds.
Well, and that's a guy that the Railers did a good job of keeping in check last time that they played back on the 28th of December. Talton was not a factor in that game. Already started here with the 3-pointer.
Gowan up top to Saucy. Now over to Polis. Railers still trying to get on that scoreboard. Gowan up top to Saucy. Saucy goes left. Now Polis on the wing with it, guarded by Talton. Now up top to Gowan, and it's going to be a turnover on the Railers, a backcourt violation.
Yeah, and a one dribble pickup there by Paulus right in front of the Quincy bench, and tried to throw it all the way out to almost the other side of the court and way up top, and too high for his teammate to grab. So again, the Railers not with a good start here. 6-0 down with 5 left here in the first.
It's a dribble drive kick now. Talton, now they'll work it around to Cartmill. Cartmill gets to the lane, up, blocked by Cook, no foul. Fought for underneath, ball still up. Cook goes up and grabs it. Now he loses it, and Saucy comes away with it, gets it over to Polis. 4:40 on the clock. Now Polis double teamed. Got to get it across. Now they do. Bevan down low to Cook. Cook up off the backboard, no good, but he'll be fouled by Cartmill.
Yeah, nice pass there by Bevan as the Railers have really looked to get it in the middle against this 1-2-2 by Quincy. Bevan caught it in the middle again, looked at Cook, and Cook a layup that not only got fouled, but one that he probably could or should have made.
Foul was on Talton, not Cartmill. Free throw up and good for Cook. He'll get another one. 6-1 is the score. The Blue Devils with the lead with 4:33 to go in the first quarter. Cook's second free throw up and in and out, no good. Talton with the rebound. Cook 1 for 2 from the line. Now the Blue Devils with the basketball. Longcore, almost stolen there by Bevan, but he runs in to O'Brien, and Bevan's going to pick up his first foul and team first.
You almost see a little rust from the Railers, week off and no excuse, but you've got to kind of get it back into that game speed. It's different than practice.
6-1 Quincy with the basketball. O'Brien with it up top, guarded by Gowan. Now they get it over to Longcore. Longcore spins right, kicks it out to Talton. Now they'll work it back up top. Good pressure defense by the Railers.
Yeah, Aiden Gowan just adds a little bit more speed and athleticism at the top, and a guy that can get after the ball handle a little bit more.
Longcore up top, guarded by Gowan. Now he'll kick it over to Cartmill. Nothing there. Cartmill dribble left, kick back up top. Now Quincy being patient with the basketball. Both teams kind of filling each other out right now. Talton, a little trap in the corner. Gets it to Cartmill on the wing. Now up top to Longcore. Now O'Brien, they'll reset with Cartmill up top. 3:19 to go in the first.
Yeah, very patient by the Blue Devils, and seems something that the IHSA has looked into. It sounds like the shot clock is going to be coming into effect here.
There's a steal by Polis. Quick hands by Polis. He's got another steal. They'll work it up quick. They'll get it. Oh, he's looking for a backdoor to Saucy. Nothing there. Now here comes Quincy. Slapped out of there by Saucy. I'm sorry, that's Biven with the block out of bounds. Going to stay with the Blue Devils. Timeout on the court. Timeout of court, which means any timeout is a great time for ice cream. So when you're out and about, stop by Top Hat Creamery, located at 513 Pulaski Street, across from Gazzardo's in the Arcade Plaza. Josh, 2:54 to go in the first, and the Railers have 1 point on the board.
Well, and you look at Paulus with a nice defensive steal early on and couldn't get the layup to go. So most of the time he knocks that down, and it's 6-3, and you feel a little more confident about. But we talked about a little rust. Week off. The Railers got to get back here. It looked like Nelson's going to check in. Not quite sure who he's going to check in for, but against the zone that Quincy plays, this 1-2-2, Nelson definitely can be a factor here.
Some of our billboard sponsors: Mike Moskey, Auction Service, phone 217-519-3959, or go to moskeyauction.com. 6-1, Quincy Blue Devils with the lead. 2:54 to go in the first. It will be Quincy basketball after the timeout here at Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium. There's a deep three by Towton. And Towton, he's got another three, Josh. And
well, and that's a guy that I think he was 20-some points a game coming into that game when we played him back in December. And
a steal by Quincy.
He's off to a hot start already.
Kicks it out to Cartmill. Now they'll work it to the left. Longcourt thinks about a three, but he doesn't. He steps on the baseline, and it's going to be a turnover. Railer basketball.
Yeah. Longcourt got in a bad area, for your offense against that 1-2-2. Good pressure again by Paulus, and I believe Cook there. But the Railers have, gotten themselves to a 9-1 deficit here, which, as we talked about, with their lack of offense, is tough to come back from.
I mean, the Railers doing a good job of keeping Quincy out of the paint, but Quincy just able to knock down 3 3-pointers, and the Railers just have no answer for that right now.
Yeah, Talton didn't really get it going against us in Collinsville.
There's a deep three by Polis. Got it. Polis on the board with a 3-pointer, and it's a Chris Coyne State Farm 3-pointer. 9-4. 1:48 to go in the first. See if that kick starts the Railers. Talton with another three, nothing but net. He's got 9. And Lincoln wants a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here. It's a Top Hat Creamery timeout, Josh. And boy, Quincy's feeling it from the arc right now.
Yeah, you're right. Probably a timeout that Coach Al re-emphasizes that Talton is the guy that they got to stop. Not only Longcore, but also Talton. And when he gets it going, he's a Division I prospect that colleges are looking at that can really get it going. He's not a guy that you see go inside much, at least against us. He has not in the first meeting, didn't go inside a lot. A lot of threes for Talton the last time in Collinsville. Just couldn't get him to go tonight, off to a 3-for-3 start from deep.
It's like number 42 checks in for Quincy. That is Keyshawn Thomas. Railers with the basketball, down by 8. They'll work it around. Polis up top. Now over to Nelson, who's checked in for the Railers. See if he can get some shots up.
Yeah, Keyshawn Thomas is 6'5" freshman.
Gowan fakes, now pulls up. Nice jumper by Gowan, a little too strong. Rebound comes down to Thomas for the Blue Devils. Number 30 into the game as well. That's Dominique Clay for the Blue Devils.
Well, now Quincy can bring in bring in 42 Thomas, who has a
shot up, no good. Fought for underneath. Thomas with the rebound, still fought for. Now the Blue Devils out to Talton for another three off the rim, no good. Thomas fights for the rebound, and there's going to be a foul.
Looks like a foul on Cook.
The Railers on.
Thomas comes in. Looks like foul on Cook first, and Thomas comes in and immediately becomes a factor on the board. 6'5", freshman, probably goes about 220, 230, and these Blue Devils.
A lot of second chance, a lot of second chance points for the Blue Devils with the basketball up by 8. Will they hold for 1? Hayes in for the Railers. And they will. 29 on the clock. Longcore plays a little catch with O'Brien up top.
Yeah, Quincy, looks like they'll hold for 1, and Coach Douglas has shown, just watch him through Quincy and his days being at the helm of the Blue Devils. He is not afraid to take the air out of it.
On the ground, Polis with 5 seconds, kicks it up to Nelson. Nelson tracks it down, throws up a desperation 3, no good, and that's going to do it for the first quarter here in Lincoln with the score 12-4. We'll be back with second quarter action here on WLCN 96.3 FM. Welcome back to Royce Anderson Gymnasium. Scott Kirby, Josh Comnick, Lloyd Kirby here this evening, and we like to give a big shout out to Sandy Johnson. Sandy listening to the game tonight. Hopefully we can bring Sandy a W, Josh.
Yeah, I wish. I'm sure Sandy wished a little bit better start for the Railers here, but again, 12-4 here, start of the second quarter. The Railers in need of not only some baskets here, but some stops on the other end. As you said earlier, the Railers getting beat up on the boards early.
Railers with the basketball down by 8. Polis up top over to Gowan. Now they work it around, back up top to Polis over on the right wing. Now a deep 3 by Polis off the rim, no good. Fought for underneath by Cook. Cook got hammered, and they're going to call a jump ball.
Yeah, I thought
foul.
He was going up with it on the putback, but then as he came back down with it, it got tied up. So nice aggressive rebound there for Cook. Just got tied up as he brought it back down.
Quincy with the basketball up by 8. Second quarter just underway. Talton up top, now to Longcore. Now they'll work it to number 30, Clay. Almost stolen there by Gowan. Now Talton up top. Ooh, there's a travel.
Yeah, it looked like it.
Now Clay with a 3 off the rim, no good. Tracked down by Thomas as he bowls his way through. Now Gowan comes up with it, gets it to Polis. Polis one-on-one. Tapped out of there off of Quincy. They're going to get Clay with the foul, I do believe.
Yeah, nice run out there. Gowan recovered the rebound off one bounce and then was able to get it ahead to Polis, who's showing quite a bit more aggressiveness on the offensive end.
Polis to inbound on the Railers baseline. Is going to be tapped out off of Quincy. Going to stay with the Railers. Polis to inbound. Gets it up top to Gowan. Works it left to Biven. Now on the corner to Saucy. Now they'll work it back to the right. Biven on the wing. Kick it up top to Gowan. Now to Saucy.
Yeah, and the Railers with nothing in the middle right now. Free throw line is where you heard a 1-2-2. we've seen that hurt us a lot in the past. And right now the Railers not really getting anybody into that area where they can make a difference.
6:25 to go in the first half, 12-4, Quincy.
And for that matter, Scott, our three-point shooters are way, way outside the three-point line.
Now they're working around to Gowan. Now they're working back towards our way. Polis in the corner, guarded by Talton. Tried to hit Gowan in the middle, but over his head. Another turnover, Railers. They're just out of sorts right now.
You're right, and we're flashing a guy in the middle every once in a while, but I don't know that it's a guy that can do something with it when we get there. You're really the guy that can do some damage from that free throw line area is either Bivin or Paulus. And right now we're flashing different guys. We're not getting it there, and if we do get it there, we're not really looking to attack.
12-4, Quincy with the lead. Railers right now just trying to keep it close so we can go to halftime and make some adjustments here.
Yeah, I think you're right. If we can keep this thing to 5-6 point lead, but
ooh, good block there by Bivin. As Longcourt tried to get to the lane, nothing there. Railers with the basketball, down by 8. Polis thinks about a deep three, doesn't take it. Now Gowan, he's in the wing. He's going to pull up for a three off the front of the rim. No good. Rebound. Fought for underneath. Tapped out of there. On the floor. Fought for. And Cook comes away with it, but we're going to get a jump ball.
Yeah, looks like
it's going to stay with the Railers.
Stay with the Railers. So Railers showing a little bit more aggressiveness there, getting on the floor. I thought early on in the first quarter that Quincy was just quicker to the basketball than the Railers, and Lincoln starting to get a little bit more quicker, a little bit more aggressive.
Thomas, he's a big body out there. He kind of just bulldogs his way through.
You're right.
And he's a factor on the board, that's for sure. There's a deep three that's an alley-oop to Cook, but Cook went over the back to try to get it, and he just picked up his second, team third. So it wasn't there. Cook was out of position. Couldn't get around his guy, so I had to go over the back. And Cook probably won't see much more action here in the first half.
No, Cook picks up 2 now. 3 on the Railers, 2 on Quincy. Still 12-4 here with 4 minutes and 55 seconds left in the second quarter.
Quincy with the basketball. Talton on the wing, now up top to Longcore. Over to Clay. Now to Longcore, guarded by Gowan. Gowan doing a good job keeping him outside the perimeter.
Yeah, the Railers have done a good job so far.
There's a deep three, no good, a little too strong. Gowan picks it up and gets it over to Polis. 4:30 to go in the first half.
So several stops in a row, Scott, but the Railers yet to put points on our end. So you're doing your job defensively, but you've got to put some points on the board. Big possession here for the Railers.
Now you got Bivin working that middle. Now he'll go to the corner. Gowan on the wing. Up top to Polis. Polis tries to get by his guy. Nothing there. Saucy for a three. In and out, no good. Clay or Thompson with the rebound. Or Thomas, I'm sorry. Not a whole lot of scoring by both teams. Just a little more for the Quincy Blue Devils.
Early start for Quincy with the 3 threes from top.
Now they work it into Thomas. Thomas gets position, block by behind, but they're going to get a foul called on, it's either Klopp or Saucy. They're going to get Klopp with the foul, and Thomas will go to the line to shoot 2.
Charge that foul, Lakers number 33, Jay Klopp. That is his first.
Officials timeout. We'll take one as well. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Lincoln Railer Basketball, WLCN 96.3 FM. Welcome back after the Top Hat Creamery timeout as Thomas at the line to shoot 2 free throws. First one up and good for Thomas.
Yeah, first free throws of the game for Quincy.
Thomas, a 6'5" freshman.
Now 2 of 2 for Thomas to give that lead 14-4 over the Railers, and a big possession here. Big 3 minutes in the game, really. I mean, you get too far behind. The Railers just don't have the firepower to withstand or try to come back from a big lead.
Gowan with it up top, gets it over to Nelson. Now Hayes. Polis drives, nothing there. Pulls up for a jumper, up and in, no good. In and out, and fought for underneath. Cartmill comes away with it. He'll push right, gives it to Clay. Now to Talton. Off the rim, no good. Out of bounds off Quincy. Going to be Railer basketball. Polis, I think he's trying to obviously make something happen. Wasn't a great shot, but at this point in the game, he's just trying to get something in the basket.
And I think if you're Lincoln too, you haven't played obviously well in this first half. What's the deficit you think you can come back from? Where do you got to get this to by halftime to give yourself a chance? Just because we just don't score the ball very well.
Klopp hounded in the corner, gets possession of it. Now gets it to Hayes, kicks it up top to Polis. Now they work it down to Klopp as Talton picks up the foul. It's his second.
Quincy foul on number 24, Jeremiah Talton. And it's his second.
14 fouls on the Railers, now 3 on Quincy. That'll be Talton's first foul. No,
that's his second.
Second foul, okay, good. Well, that's a positive for the Railers anyways, but they have been,
Gowan for a deep 3, and he's going to be fouled. And it's a Chris Coyne State Farm 3-pointer for Gowan. And he'll try to hit the 4-point play.
If that's a basket that the Railers needed, I don't know if there's much more. I mean, a deep 3, as soon as he shot him, I thought it might have been a lob pass to someone. But Gowan with a deep 3 gets fouled, is going to go to the free throw line for the unconventional 4-point play. If he can get it to go, and he does not.
Hits the front of the rim, no good. 14-7. Quincy with the lead. 2:18 to go in the first half. Quincy with the basketball.
Well, as bad as the Raiders offensively have looked, Scott, this game could be a lot worse.
Absolutely. Clay with it now up top to Longcore, over to Cartmill. Over to number 10, O'Brien. Now they'll work him up top to Cartmill. Swing it to the right. Longcore. Nothing there for the Blue Devils. Now Clay to Longcore. Longcore.
Travel.
Yep, I'm going to say he got that first step in there, and that's a good call there.
And thankful for us that Longcore's not got off to a good start like he did in Collinsville, where he was the leading scorer that day with 17 points. Well, hasn't got it going.
Looks like pick your poison. You going to stop Talton, or are you going to stop Longcore? And right now it's Talton's night.
Well, the Railers got a chance to get this thing in reasonable margin before half.
Polis with a jump around from the elbow, and good. And just like that, the Railers on a little bit of a scoring spree here, down 14-9 with 1:25 to go in the first half.
A little 5-0 run here with a Gowan 3-pointer and now a Paulus 10-foot jump shot. So a little momentum for the guys in the white uniforms.
Clay on the wing with it. Now they'll work it back to the left with Cartmill.
You got Talton out, who's got 3 threes with 9 points of their 14. So, if you're Quincy, who do you go to? It looks like it's going to be Thomas.
Thomas up a little too strong, and Polis there for another rebound. Thomas, only a freshman, he's got a bright future for him, Josh.
Oh, when you add Longcore and Thomas,
yes,
and I hope this game continues as you get these non-conference games.
Stolen away by Longcore, up and got it. And the foul. So a little lazy pass there by the Railers, and anticipated by Longcore. Get the steal and go in for the layup and the foul. He'll try to finish the 3-point play.
Man, a big basket there for Quincy, who's been on a dry spell on the scoreboard, and a big steal by Longcore, and unfortunately that's something that might get him going a little bit. A steal, 3-point play, knocks the free throw down. Quincy now 3 of 3 from the free throw line.
17-9 Quincy, 35 seconds to go in the first half, almost another steal. Gowan, now he'll pull up for a 3 just behind the line, a little too strong, no good. Rebound comes down the Longcore for the Blue Devils, and they'll hold for the last shot of the first half.
23 seconds now for the Blue Devils, so they've got a chance to head in the locker room if with a 2 or any basket really, besides just one free throw, they're going to get a double-digit lead.
10 seconds on the clock. Longcore dribbles in. Ooh, should have been a foul there. I tell you, Gowan had his arm. No call. But they're going to get a foul on the Blue Devils. Boy, we got away with one there.
5 fouls now for both teams. The Railers with 4.5 seconds left, trying to get something to go.
Pulls up. No, he don't. Kicks it over to Nelson for a 3. Off the front of the rim, no good. Had a good look, just couldn't get to go. And at the end of the first half, it's the Blue Devils 9. We'll take a commercial break. We come back, we'll have the Ground Incorporated Schneider Chiropractic halftime show here on WLCN 96.3 FM.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your Raylan dance team to the floor under the direction of Gene Meiderson as they perform their competitive routine choreographed by Randy Montgomery.
And we're back here from Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium. You're in the Ground Incorporated and Schneider Chiropractic halftime show. Josh Comnick along with Scott Kirby and Lloyd Kirby here from Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium. The Railers down 17-9 here at halftime. And Scott, I think it's, we kind of saw this a little bit on Saturday against Landspear that you're getting to a point where the defense has carried this team for so long. There was going to be a time where our lack of ability to score and put the ball in the hole was going to catch up to us. It may be one of those nights, along with like last Saturday, we just couldn't score enough to a lot of game left. I get it, second half, but it just doesn't look like in the flow of the offense we're going to get a whole lot of looks.
Yeah, it's been a rough first half for the Railers trying to, get the ball in the basket. And, our defense does create some offense, though, so I don't know, if that's going to be an option in the second half. We're just going to have to make things happen because, credit to Quincy, they're not giving us any open looks, and they're keeping us on the perimeter. We can't get in the paint. So I don't know what kind of halftime adjustments Coach Al's going to make, but I think we just maybe need a little more aggressive getting to the basket and maybe drawing some fouls.
Well, and I think too, as good as our defense is, and we've done a pretty good job of rebounding this season, you almost looked like to see if the Railers had pushed the basketball a little bit more. Just to try to get something easy because. Right now we're holding the ball for 30, 45 seconds, maybe a minute, and really not getting a good look even after that. So if you can try to push, maybe get the defense back on their heels a little bit, maybe, you draw some more fouls, a chance to get to the free throw line, but a way to get some easier baskets for this Railer team is something we've got to look into just because the defense done so well so far, 14-2 on the season. We couldn't ask for anything better, but the offense has been struggling to find any kind of rhythm. And I think also too, finding a rhythm with one game a week is tough. No excuses or anything, but Railers did not play on Tuesday like they have recently. They didn't play last night, so that consistency, that fluidity is not there that you might see if with a couple games under their belt this week. 5 minutes left here at halftime. The Railers down 17-9. We'll take a break. Back here from Coach Neil Alexander Court in just a couple minutes here in the Ground Incorporated and Schneider Chiropractic pregame show. Halftime show.
Halftime,
I wish it was still pregame. You're listening to Lincoln Railer Basketball.
Welcome back to Royce Anderson Gymnasium. Scott Kirby, Josh Connick here this evening as the Railers a little behind the Quincy Blue Devils at half, 17-9. And Josh, we've talked about it. It's kind of been an issue all year where, the Railers, we go on a scoring drought. And it's one of those tonight where we're off to a slow start. Don't know what the answer is. I mean, it's obviously easier said than done. Get to the basket, put some points on the board. You got to give credit to Quincy. They came out with a good game plan the first half and held the Railers to 9 points.
Yeah, I think my parents used to listen to a song, maybe still do, that said, "Mama, there will be days like this." I think it was or Mama said there'll be days like this. It's kind of that tonight. We've kind of weathered the storm several times this year where we've not played well offensively, and our defense has just kind of turned some turnovers into points. Or yet the other team just wasn't scoring. And really, I mean, you asked for 17 points against this Quincy team. I think the Railer defense just has done a great job. You talk about the 3 threes from Talton early in the first quarter, and other than that, they haven't had a whole lot.
Right.
So the defense has done their part. It's the struggle right now to find any openings against this Quincy 1-2-2.
Railers come back out on the court. Quincy's already out here warming up. 1:30 on the clock. Let's take another 60-second timeout. We'll come back. We'll have second half action here on WLCN 96.3 FM. Welcome back to Royce Anderson Gymnasium. Tonight's live stream video sponsors are Town & Country Bank. Town & Country Bank is a proud sponsor of Lincoln Railer basketball. At Town & Country Bank, our mission is to help empower the financial well-being of our communities, one person at a time. Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln. Whether buying or selling, trusted professionals at Me Realty. For more information, check out merealty.com. It will be Quincy basketball to start the second half, as second half action is underway. They'll work it around. Quincy being a little patient right now to start the third. Longcore with it. Now gets it over to Cartmill on the wing. Now they'll work it back up top to Cartmill, over to Longcore. Over to Talton on the wing. Now back this way. 17-9, Quincy with the lead. Now they look just to run some time off the clock. Talton drives on Cook, nothing there. Good defense by Cook as he cut off the baseline. Now Quincy pulls it back up top. O'Brien on the wing, guarded there by Saucy, all the way across to Talton. Now to Longcore, cut off there by Biven. Now back up top to Cartmill. They've worked a minute and 10. Talton with the three. He picked up where he left off first half with another three, and he's got 12 points.
Yeah, and you know, if you're Quincy, what a great possession to start the half. You work a minute off, minute 20 or so off the clock, and get a three to go from Talton. So a great start to this second half for Quincy.
20-9, Quincy with the lead. Railers look to answer with the basketball. Pullis up top. He'll dribble to the right. Now back to the left to Gowan. Gowan back up top to Pullis. Pullis tries to dribble. Nothing there. Saucy for a three off the rim. No good. Tracked down by Talton. Gowan hit it out of bounds. Going to go to the Blue Devils. I'd like to give a shout out to Tom Thompson, a 1948 Lincoln Community High School grad. He's watching the game from the comfort of his home. So hopefully the Railers can get it in gear here tonight and bring him a victory. Also watching from Quincy, Illinois, Andy Hoskins. He's probably pretty happy right now. And really happy right now as O'Brien hits a three. And that extends the Blue Devils 23-9 with 5:38 to go in the third. Biven tried to get to the rim, tapped out of there by Carthill. Now Talton for a three, a little too strong. Cook with the rebound. Railers really need to get going here real quick, Josh.
Yeah,
we're not, this one slip away.
Well, you're right. This team is not built on coming back from large deficits. Just the lack of scoring from from the whole roster, but we can't tend to get too far behind.
Saucy for a three, and now to get us going right there. Saucy with the Chris Coyne State Farm three-pointer.
Yeah, big basket by the junior there, and the Railer defense have got to get out on the shooters. It's been a three-show really for Quincy. The only thing that's hurt us is the three-point line, and the Railers got to figure out where Talton is, and then just last possession was O'Brien that hit one.
Cartmill with it, out over to Longcore, guarded by Polis. Longcore gets it back over to Cartmill. Now to O'Brien on the wing, back to Cartmill up top.
You know, and the scary thing for us is that Quincy's got enough ball handlers really to pull it out.
Ooh, Longcore got away with the travel there. Now Cartmill goes left, tries to get to the lane, nothing there, kicks it out to O'Brien. O'Brien dribbles back up top over to Cartmill. Cartmill thinks about a three, now kicks it up top. Now on the wing to Longcore. Now Tolton in the corner, gets it up to Longcore. Now they'll work it to the left.
Yeah, Cartmill with the opening three-pointer in the game, and I don't think he's taken a shot since.
Longcore spins right, guarded there by Polis. Good defense by the Railers. Under 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Cartmill goes left, now pulls it back out. I don't know if it was tipped. We got a call. Yeah, that's going to go to Railers basketball. No, I didn't see a tip there, but I couldn't really tell, Josh. And,
yeah, I don't know. Coach Douglas is not happy with the call. I think just because of the indecision by this official.
Got a
warning?
Timeout, warning. Officials timeout. A little confusion going right here. It's a Top Hat Creamery timeout, Josh. Railers down by 11. 3:46 to go in the third. Saucy with the big three-pointer right there, and well, we're going to need some more of those.
Well, and we just haven't gotten them go. We just haven't, I don't know exactly the field goals in the game, but we just haven't attempted a lot of field goals.
No.
I mean, we just haven't shot the ball a lot, and it's been, I don't know if it's
more
great defense by Quincy, or we're just pushed so far out we have nothing inside the three-point line.
It feels like they're trying to figure out the defense instead of attacking the defense.
Right.
And, but that's just me.
Well, I think you're exactly right. And unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, for Quincy, if you're fortunate, we've had a week to prepare for it, and we've not just been able to attack off the dribble or kick or get anything inside the lane. I think maybe the only two-pointer maybe we've had is a layup, I think, and then Paulus with a jumper here in the second quarter. So, the thing is, there's a lot of time left, and we're not out of this thing.
Yeah, no, not at all. Railers with the basketball, 3:30 to go in the third. Gowan, he's going to pull up for a three. He's left it short, airballed it, and it's going to be Quincy basketball. 23-12, Quincy. And Gowan's going to pick a foul up on Cartmill. That's Gowan's first.
Railer foul charge number 2, Aiden Gowan is first.
Team first for the Railers. Quincy with the basketball. Cartmill up top, spins right, kicks it over to Longcore, nothing there. He'll go back to the left, up top to Cartmill. Cartmill guarded by Gowan. Now gets it to Talton. Guarded by Gowan, over to Cartmill.
Yeah, Cartmill, a 5'9" senior. A lot of Railer Nation will remember a player from Quincy by Kyle Cartmill, who was playing back when I played and went on to ISU. Fantastic player.
Railers with the basketball, down by 11. 2:40 to go in the third. They work it to Biven. Down low to Klopp, who just missed a bunny shot, but he's going to be fouled by Cartmill.
Yeah, nice look in there by Biven. We got the ball to the free throw line. Biven looked down for Klopp, who unable to get the 3-foot shot to go, but it's going to go to the free throw line.
First free throw from Klopp, no good.
Klopp goes to the free throw line for Lincoln.
He'll get another. Second free throw, no good. Fought for underneath. Cartmill comes out of there with it. He'll push it to the right. Now guarded by Polis. Almost a steal. Tapped it out of there. Now Cartmill. He'll go right. Cut off the baseline by Klopp. And out of bounds off of Klopp. Going to stay with the Blue Devils. 2:25 to go in the third. 23-12. Quincy with the lead.
Well, the Railers are running out of time, too. You know, just a lack of scoring that we can provide in a hurry. 2:20 left here in the third quarter. The Railers down 11.
Clay checks back in for the Blue Devils as he fakes a three and pulls it down, but Bivens going to land on top of him and pick up the foul.
Clay just a freshman as well. So they've got Clay, Longcore, and also Thomas, 3 freshmen on the court for the Blue Devils.
Longcore dribbles left, cut off there by Biven. Now they work it to Clay. Now they'll work it back up top to Longcore, over to O'Brien. Looking for Thomas down low, nothing there. Clay with it in the corner. They'll work it back to the right. Longcore for a deep three off the back of the iron, no good. Tolton there for the putback, and he'll be fouled, and he'll get 2 free throws.
Yeah, so if the Railers have gotten stops on the defensive end, it seems like Quincy has been there sometimes for the offensive rebound, and now Tolton will go to the free throw line with 2. Tolton's first free throw up and good, give him 13 on the night.
Heartland Community College is Lincoln's community college. At Heartland, you'll get the personal attention and support you need to be a successful student. Discover Heartland. Discover your future. Visit heartland.edu/Lincoln. Both free throws good by Tolton. And a turnover by the Railers, down by 13, 1:36 to go, Josh. And Railers just cannot seem to get anything going.
No, and kind of an unforced turnover there by the Railers, and they're still with that.
Stole by Polis. Polis up and good. So defense creating some offense, and that's what we're going to need right now.
Yeah, because when we've got the ball on offense, we haven't been able to find ways to score. So Elijah with another steal.
25-14, Tolton for a 3, got it. And Tolton with the answer. And that hurts right there.
Yeah, it was. You get a basket, you get a steal, and then a basket, and then you come up and give a three-pointer to the guy that's written up on the chalkboard.
Gowan up top to Polis. Now up top to Nelson. Nelson's going to pull for a 3, airballed it. And it's going to be out of bounds. Quincy basketball. 28-14 Quincy, 37 seconds to go in the third. Quincy with the basketball. They'll hold for 1. Down to 10. Now they'll get going. O'Brien over to Longcore. Longcore with it up top. Guarded by Polis. Over in the corner to Tolton. Tolton for another 3. And he hits another one. And Tolton is feeling it tonight, Josh. He just hit another big 3 to put the Quincy Blue Devils up 31-14 to end the third. We'll take a commercial break. We come back. We'll have fourth quarter action here. WLCN 96.3 FM. Welcome back to Royce Anderson Gymnasium. Scott Kirby, Josh Comnick, Lloyd Kirby here this evening. As the three-pointer has been working for Quincy tonight.
Been working for Talton.
Yeah, Talton's had a big night tonight, and
almost looks like he was a little upset with the last showing that he had against the Railers.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly how many points he had last time, but it wasn't probably one of his better outings, and he's looking to make up for it here at Roy S.
17-point deficit for the Railers. They're going to have to do something quick if they want to stay in this ball game. Conway checks in for the Railers. Polis dribbles, pulls up, blocked there by Talton, and Clay tracks down the rebound. 31-14, all Quincy tonight. And now they'll just try to take the air out of the ball here, Josh.
Yeah, they're going to wait and work it until they can get some sort of a good shot, and they're okay with working a couple seconds off the clock.
Talton off the rim, no good, but Clay there for the offensive rebound. Now O'Brien's going to take a three and got it. Second chance points for the Quincy Blue Devils, and they make the Railers pay. 20-point advantage for the Blue Devils. There's Cook. He'll go into the lane, throw up a running jumper, and Cook on the board. 34-16, 6:50 to go in the ball game. We need stops.
And a lot of them.
Clay for a three, no good. Rebound comes down to Conway. Polis gets it across the timeline, now to Gowan, back up top to Polis. So work it down to Hayes. Tried to get it down to Cook. Tapped out of there. Quincy with the basketball.
Yeah, and it was the right idea by Hayes to catch it at the free throw line and look low. It just was a little too late.
Longcore for a three, no good. Cook there for the rebound. Now Polis, he'll get it up across the timeline. Gowan thinks about a three, pulls it back down. Now fires one. Fought for underneath, and little tie up down there. Looks like Clay may have done something to his ankle.
Yeah, Hayes and Clay going after the rebound, and Clay comes up limping a little bit. I think Coach Douglas is going to bring in Cartmill for Clay, the one of their talented freshmen that Coach Douglas is going to have 4 years to work with.
Timeout taken by Quincy.
Timeout on the court. It's a Top Hat Creamery timeout. 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here. 34-16. Quincy with the lead with 5:56 to go in the ball game. It's been a rough one tonight, Josh. The Railers just seem out of sync. You know, the defense was pretty solid for 3 quarters, and I guess, you know, when you got Talton out there hitting threes left and right, that's hard to defend.
Yeah, it is, and I think, you know, when you're not scoring, it just takes a little bit out of you. You know, you don't have that spark, that spunk to make your defense better. So, you know, you become a little lackluster on your defensive end when you're not scoring the basketball. 16 points here in the game for the Railers, and just doesn't give you a whole lot of life.
Quincy with the basketball, up 34-16. Longcore up to Cartmill up top. Cartmill goes left, now back to his right, gets it to Longcore. O'Brien work it down to Thomas, guarded by Cook. Thomas kicks it out to Cartmill. Cartmill over to Talton, good hands by Polis, couldn't track it down. It's going to stay with the Blue Devils.
Elijah gets his hand on a lot of basketballs.
Now Quincy will reset. They're going to try to take the air out of this basketball and get back on the road to head to Quincy with a victory. Cartmill with it on the wing. He'll pull it back out. Over to Longcore. Now to O'Brien. All the way across. Polis couldn't track it down. Now Quincy will reset up top. Longcore guarded by Gowan. Now Conway comes out to help. Over to Cartmill. Cartmill to his left. Gets to the lane. Ooh. Kind of lost it. Hayes comes out there with it. He's going to go up. Tapped out of bounds off Cartmill. And I'm going to be out of bounds off the Blue Devils. Railer basketball on their own baseline.
Turnover by Quincy, and the Railers get the basketball back, but unfortunately I think it's probably too late.
Yeah,
we just don't have the firepower to come back from an 18-point deficit.
Railers with the basketball. Polis over to Conway. Now back up top to Polis. To Gowan. Now Polis, he'll go right, kick it out to Gowan, or Conway for a three, left it short, no good. Saucy tries to track it down, couldn't get to it, out of bounds, off the Railers, going to be Quincy basketball. (34-16) Quincy, 4:25 to go on the ball game. Down low to Thomas, guarded by Cook. Cook's going to pick up the foul. Thomas will go to the line, shoot two.
Also, Lincoln's number 34, Peyton Cook. That is his
third foul on Cook. Now the Railers with 5 here in the second half. 4:15 left. Thomas going to head to the free throw line, up and miss the first one. Railers down 34-16.
Second one up and good for Thomas. Get it across, Conway. Now up top to Saucy. To the wing to Gowan, now up top to Polis. Railers working around to Cook in the corner. Nothing there. Now Saucy at the elbow, no good. Rebound comes down to Thomas for the Blue Devils. (35-16) Quincy. 3:40 to go in the ball game.
And Quincy very deliberate in their offense. They have had a few possessions here in the fourth and look to hold it or really get a good shot.
And Talton with the dagger.
He's had a few of those tonight, I think. It's been the Jeremiah Talton show here, from especially from deep. You know, he hasn't hurt us inside with his athleticism and size, but he has hurt us from the three-point line.
Polis gets to the rim, going to be fouled. He'll get 2 free throws. Officials timeout. We'll take one as well.
Officials timeout.
3:18 to go in the ball game. It's Quincy Blue Devils 38, the Railers 16. We'll have the rest of the fourth quarter action here when we return on WLCN 96.3 FM. Welcome back to Royce Anderson Gymnasium. Polis at the line for 2 shots. First one up and good for Polis. Second free throw for Polis is up and no good. And let's say Talton just burrowed his way through there to knock Gowan out of there.
Yeah, Gowan fighting for the rebound against Talton. Talton picks up the foul as Elijah Paulus goes 1 of 2 from the free throw line, gives the Railer possession here. 3:17 left here in the game.
Yep. Gowan over to Polis. Now to Conway. Cook. Polis, he'll dribble in, up and blocked by Thomas, but Polis is able to track it back down. Conway, he'll get to the lane, up and no good. Rebound comes down to O'Brien.
Yeah, good take by Conway, though. Something the Railers have needed to do in this game is get to the paint area, just unable to convert.
Ooh, good pass there down to Thomas, but he's going to be fouled before the shot. .244 to go in the game. It's 38-17. Quincy with the basketball, work it down low to Talton, kick it out to Cartmill. Nothing there. He'll back it out with 2:35 to go in the game. Now Longcore over to O'Brien, all the way across to Talton. Now they'll kick it back up top. Thomas, Talton, 3, same result. Talton with another big 3. 41-17, 2:09 to go in the game. You just tip your cap to Talton. I mean,
you're right.
It's been all Talton tonight.
He's outscored the Railers.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a 3 on the way. It's a Chris Coyne, State Farm, 3-pointer for Saucy. Thomas up and no good. Fought for Cook, and they're going to get him with the travel. But good effort by Cook to get that rebound. Just couldn't hold his feet. Fell down, and he's going to get travel called on him with 1:53 to go in the ball game. It's 41-20. Now Kingsley checks in for the Railers as well as Klopp. And Thomas gets it down low, going to be fouled by Saucy. It's good to see Gowan in there. I don't know if he's set out tonight.
No, you're right. He's played a lot of minutes and looks fresh, and he was ready. You worry about not only with the virus, but also just his conditioning.
Yeah.
With that being out for so long. But sounds like he was doing some conditioning at the in-home gym, and Gowan has, as you said, logged a lot of minutes tonight.
Well, this is a Quincy team, Josh. Boy, they've got a bright future with all these freshmen out there. You mentioned Thomas earlier. Obviously, Longcore, a freshman. Clay put some good minutes in tonight.
They're going to be 16-3 now on the season, and they beat Rock Island, who the Railers travel to next Saturday. They beat them 61-57. So I know that's a rivalry. I know that's a conference game, so both teams are probably up as they should be. But the Railers not only travel to Bloomington on Tuesday, but also travel to Rock Island, who seems to be going to be a tough opponent on their home court.
Keon Carson checks in for the Railers. Conway to Carson. Carson gets to the middle, throws it up, and he'll be fouled. He'll go to the line for 2.
The only losses for Quincy.
I guess not. You're going to call before the shot.
This year is Centralia, MacArthur, and then they lost to Collinsville in the
Klopp with the bucket.
Game.
.42-22. It's been all Blue Devils tonight. There's a 3 on the way, and that's just it's their night.
Kind of picking on that corner over there. You know, they've hit a lot of threes over there in front of the Quincy bench, and I don't have their percentage, but they've shot the ball well.
Tonight it's pretty high, and you know Bergman just comes off the bench and throws up a 3, and it just wasn't the Railers' night tonight when you know things like that happen.
Well, I think it started right from the beginning too. You know, Cartmill hits the 3, Paulus in a possession or two, maybe later than that, get a steal, misses the layup, and we just didn't have it really from the beginning.
Yeah, and you know it's a good Quincy team. You know, a young Quincy team, and there's a jumper, no good. Kingsley with the rebound. Carson up top. He'll dribble around, get it. There's a 3 on the way, no good. Tracked down by the Railers. Stevens. And is it Carson with the 3?
Yeah. Keon with
Carson.
the 3. I saw him make a couple of those in the sophomore victory tonight actually, 43-38. So the Railers are going to come away with a split here from Roy S.
As time expires, the final score from Roy S. Anderson, the Quincy Blue Devils 45, the Railers 25. We'll take a commercial break. We come back, we'll have the Grau Incorporated Schneider Chiropractic post-game show here on WLCN 96.3 FM. Welcome back to Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium. Your final score, Quincy 45, Lincoln 25. And Josh, just wasn't the night for the Railers. I know they're not going to be happy with the outcome. It's a team that, we saw down in Collinsville, had the lead for most of the game down there, I do believe, and Quincy able to pull away there at the end, but it was a rough one tonight. But you got to tip your hat to the Blue Devils and Talton and the rest of the crew. They played a great game tonight, and the Railers just couldn't find any offense.
Yeah, I think you saw a team that was ready to play, and I think you saw one that really wasn't, and that's going to be hard for a coach to take, just because of the fact that we've been off for a week, and I don't know that we showed much. I don't know about effort. I don't know if our effort was the best, but we didn't really pay attention to detail. I'm sure Talton was a name that was put up on the dry erase board in the locker room, and we didn't find him. We didn't try to run him off the three-point line. Quincy looked like they were in really control tonight, and we didn't pressure them. We didn't make them uncomfortable. They looked very smooth out there, and when you can look smooth, you're confident, shots are going in. Where you go on the other side of the court, where the Railers shots weren't going in, we weren't getting a lot of great shots, not a lot of good looks. It's a reversal, and it kind of take your offense to defense, which you don't like to see, but it happens. It's almost human nature.
Yeah, our defense was pretty solid the first half, and I think we just kind of maybe started pressing, trying to find that shot on offense, and we just couldn't get the offensive side going, and Quincy did, and that's I guess that's the name of the game. It's not going to be your night every night, but they'll bounce back, and Coach Al get them going again.
Well, I think and I thought up until now there might have been more of these, just because of the fact we just struggled to score the ball, but our defense has carried us quite a while, really, for the 14-2 now 14-3 on the season. But these games were going to happen just because we just struggled to score the ball, and tonight the defense just didn't do what it's been doing, I guess, up until now.
45-25 is your final score. We'll take another commercial break. We come back, we'll have more here on WLCN 96.3 FM. Welcome back to Royce Anderson Gymnasium as the Railers fall to the Blue Devils 45-25. And Josh, you got some scoring for us?
Yeah, and it was hot shooting by the Blue Devils tonight. 12 of 22 from three-point land for 55%. Talton himself was 8 for 11. He didn't even shoot a two-pointer tonight. He was 8 from 11 from the field, all of them three-pointers. Quincy shot 43% from the field. They were 78% from the free throw line at 7 of 9. 18 total rebounds for the Blue Devils, 5 of them offensive, seemed like more than that. 10 turnovers on 2 blocks and 5 steals. The Blue Devils were led by Talton. Talton with 26 tonight, 6 points for Reed O'Brien, 4 for Keyshawn Thomas, 3 for Bradley Longcore, and 3 for Teron Cartmeal. So Longcore, who hurt the Railers in Collinsville, it was now Talton's night tonight as he finishes with 26, outscores the Railers by 1. The Railers shoot 30% from the field. We were 5 of 18 from three-point land, 28%, and 1 of 4 from the free throw line for 29%. The Railers had 14 total rebounds, 3 of them offensive, 7 assists on 10 turnovers, 2 blocks, and 7 steals for the Railers. The Railers were led in scoring tonight by Elijah Paulus. Paulus with 8, 6 for Tyler Saucy, 3 for Aiden Gowan, Peyton Cook, and also Keon Carson, and 2 for Jaden Klopp. Again, the Railers fall 45-25. We'll be back here from Roy S. Anderson with Coach Neil Alexander. You're in the Ground Incorporated and Schneider Chiropractic postgame show, and you're listening to Lincoln Railer basketball.
Stay away.
Friday? No, Friday.
Busy weekend for you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, can I tell
Welcome back to Royce Anderson Gymnasium. Once again, your final. The Blue Devils 45, the Railers 25.
Railers back in action on Tuesday, January the 18th at Bloomington. That is looks like a 7 o'clock start for the varsity, so roughly around 5:30 for the sophomore, I'm assuming. And then the Railers travel to Rock Island on Saturday, January the 22nd. That's also a 7 o'clock start for the Railers. Next time the Railers back here at Roy S. Anderson Gymnasium will be taking on the Wildcats from Normal West on January the 25th. Coach Alexander talked about there's going to be a lot of, the upcoming weeks, a lot of 3-game weeks, only just 2 next week, but then after that it looks like about 3 games every week, Scott, and that, sometimes that's good. I don't know, sometimes it's bad. You get on a roll, you start to play well, you want to play more games, and I don't know if the week-long break was some of a fault tonight, but it wasn't what we have seen thus far for the Railers.
No, it could have something to do with it, but, no excuses. Railers, they didn't come out tonight and get it done, and we've struggled offensively all year, but typically when you can hold a team to 40-45 points, you think you have a pretty good chance of winning, but we're just unable to hit some shots tonight. I think they kept Nelson scoreless, which that was a big deal, because he's got to be averaging, what'd you say, three-pointers a game or something like that, so he's going to get you 9 to 12 points a game, and Raiders just struggled offensively, and that's about all you can say.
Yeah, and looks like I think one of the Railer faithful listeners informed me that Mount Zion is at Roy S. Anderson this Thursday, so that must be a makeup game. Makeup game.
And just to let, if you're planning on travel to Bloomington, they're only allowing 4 spectators per player. Okay, so if you don't have a player playing, you're probably
going to have to become a parent or a grandparent of someone.
You're going to have to listen to us, WLCN 96.3 FM.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but we'd like more people in attendance. But
absolutely.
But yeah, it doesn't sound like that's going to happen over in Bloomington. So check in. We'll have that, of course, and then Thursday we'll be here taking on the Braves from Mount Zion.
The Mount Zion Braves. So we'll see. Well, we're still waiting for Coach Al to make an appearance. Josh is wanting to get out of here. He must have a big date tonight.
Yeah, big date going on.
Big date night. Wanting to catch the second half of that football game between the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots.
Which doesn't look to be like much of a game so far.
27-3 at half, and the Bengals knock off the Raiders earlier. So it's playoff football. Lloyd to be interested in tomorrow's games as the Buccaneers are in action. No Chicago Bears this year.
Yeah, I see you're still sporting the hat, though.
Yeah, it was a Christmas present. You still got to support your team.
I got you.
So let's take another commercial break. Hopefully Coach Al's going to make his way up here shortly, and here he comes. So let's take a 60-second break by the time he gets up here, all right? So don't go anywhere.
You want this? I don't want this at all.
They brought me a Mountain Dew.
Welcome back to WLCN 96.3 FM. Coach Al joining us right now. Coach, a tough one tonight for the Railers. You got to think the game plan going in was to watch Lawn Corps and Talton, but Talton had a heck of a game tonight with 26 points, 8 3-pointers. Just couldn't get it done tonight.
Well, it was one of those nights where, I'm disappointed in the kids and the things that we've been working on, the execution part. I'm fine with, score doesn't bother me. But when we don't execute in a play and do the things that we like to do and be an interesting team, that's the frustrating part of it. And, Talton, we had him on the board, the shooter. You can't make him put it on the floor. Clay Thompson, I don't know, he scored 60-some points on 13 catches or 13 dribbles, something like that. Well, this guy had 26 on 0 dribbles. Yeah. We didn't get into him to make him put the ball on the floor. And those are little things that when we talk about and need to do and we don't get it done, then, you got results as we had tonight.
Yeah, Coach, it really was from the beginning. I think Cartmill makes a 3 to open the game. Hasn't probably scored much all season. Didn't take another shot, I don't think, the whole game.
No, he's 1 for 1.
Yeah, he makes a 3. We come down maybe the next possession or after. Elijah makes a great steal, misses a layup, and they kind of just, from there, it just didn't get it going.
We just struggle with how we need to play. We got it. We were down 13 to 4, and we got it back to 13 to 9. We had the ball and then threw it away, and they scored a layup. And those are little things that you have to capitalize on. And we know that we are a possession team and so forth. And they played possession ball tonight. They made us work. They passed the basketball, and they had a lot of passes per possession, and usually that's Lincoln.
Yeah, 45-25, Coach, and more points than you've given up maybe all season to any team. But as you said, it was Talton early and often for the Blue Devils. It looked like he had a little revenge on his mind after the poor performance from him in Collinsville. He was ready to make up for it tonight.
Yeah, he's a nice player. And he was very respectful and going through the line and yes, sir, no, sir. And, that you play the game against those guys. Yeah, you want to, you tell your kids that we want to shut them down and things. But when it's over, the bottom dollar, you deal with kids like that. And, and I think we have kids like that as well. So be respectful. Yep. He could have really been cocky about tonight's thing and game, but not once did he say anything. And I got all the respect in the world for Coach Douglas. He does a great job, and he's just fun to be around. And in the coaching profession, you have a lot of that, and those are things that it makes the job really enjoyable.
Well, Coach, we'll throw this one away early and start talking about Tuesday, which doesn't get a whole lot easier at Bloomington, and you're on the road at Rock Island on Saturday, another Western Big Six opponent. So you talked about it, I think, last game where it's only 2 games next week, but after that it's 3 games a week, and it becomes, you're right, Mount Zion.
Mount Zion's in there on Thursday,
so
one of our makeup days.
You got 3 games next week, and do you like having, I know the players do, but do you as a coach and what you've got to try to teach and get ready for better than a week like this where we had a week off?
I'm not sure it really matters. We worked on a couple different options this week, and we had 4 days, and I don't think we even come close to looking at what we wanted to do. So it's we'll find out.
Yeah.
It's hard for the kids to know they got 5 days of practice, and I thought we had some good practices towards it and did some things and so forth. So one thing on Tuesday, I don't know if you guys have put it out there or not, but there is a limit on fans at Bloomington High School on Tuesday's game. there's 4 tickets per player, and they are not selling any tickets at the door. So people need to figure, you know, the WLCN. I don't know if you've contacted them, whether they're allowing you in. I know cheerleaders aren't allowed in from either side. Just the four tickets per kid that's on the roster. So I think they having some issues, and they're going through. I think he said they've got this week, and then they'll reevaluate it, next week, and then they're going to reevaluate their fan situation. So we've talked about it here, and needing, I think our student body was pretty well masked up. I know there's a few that's not, but if we want to finish the year and be able to play and you know, have a state tournament and be able to participate in it, I haven't seen anything come out what happens if you have a COVID game during the state tournament. I'm guessing that if you don't have enough kids to participate, then that team will advance. And I think that'll be basically the protocol for NCAA and our high school. So just hopefully everyone's listening that, again, there's no tickets for Tuesday's game at Bloomington.
Well, Coach, thanks for spending some time with us. I know the outcome's not what you wanted, but we get a short little turnaround as we travel to Bloomington on Tuesday.
Yep, it'll be quick, and hopefully we can get things squared away and look at them a little bit different, and hopefully the outcome will be, you know, we got set on this for 3 days, and that's when you play as many games as we play, you don't have to set on anything any too long.
All right, Coach, we'll see you Tuesday in Bloomington.
Okay, thank you.
That'll do it for us here in Lincoln. Our next broadcast will be Tuesday at Bloomington, Illinois, as the Railers are on the road to take on the Raiders from Bloomington High School. Our broadcast will begin with pregame show starting at 6:30. For station manager Jim Ash, studio producer, director Winnie Ransdale, and Josh Komnick, this is Scott Kirby. Once again, the final score, Lincoln 25, Quincy Blue Devils 45. The Railers now stand at 14-3. We hope you enjoyed this broadcast, and would like to thank our listeners for listening and our sponsors for sponsoring. This has been a production of WLCN Sports 96.3 FM. We ask you patronize our sponsors and say thank you for allowing us to bring you Railer basketball. From Lincoln, Illinois, good evening, everyone. It's time to send you back to the studio for the Classic Rock Experience on the Nighttime Fix 96.